What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. Let me first say that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And then don't forget about the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, and you're guaranteed 15. Anyways, I want to talk about something very interesting about the market that's going on. So when CPI came out, all the numbers were aligned with expectations, except for inflation year over year. This was actually below expectations. So overall, things were not bad whatsoever. We got good data, and that's what the market was pumping during the pre-market. However, after pumping during the pre-markets, the market ended up slowing down, and then as soon as we opened, the market has dumped a bit, and we're showing some signs of weakness. So I was saying I want to see Tesla hold 225 for us to remain bullish. If it lost this, we'd be looking for a dip. And lo and behold, we ended up losing support. So the support to watch for in Tesla's at 222 and also now at this 220 area. Our 20 EMA has trended upwards a little bit. So if we lose that, then there's going to be a dip all the way down to like 217, these low levels like 215, not to mention the gap fill below. And if we break past 225, we'll be looking for an attempt to get back up to 228. But so far, there's weakness in the market that's dragging Tesla down. And that's why I want to give you guys a warning about this. Now, SPY in particular is in a very, very critical place. This pumped to almost 550, only to dump all the way back down. We have 543.8 as our support. If that fails us, we're looking for 542.5. 542.5 is critical. If we lose that, we're going to be coming down to fill this gap, taking us all the way down, very close. I think we might actually come all the way up to the or come all the way down to the high 530s, like 539, 538 is going to be coming. If we lose 542.5, it's going to be critical for us. So make sure you watch that very carefully. There is weakness building on SPY. It's just barely holding support. And they're using CPI as the catalyst to dump things again. So the bears are back. Nvidia pumped all the way up to this 112 area only to come back down. We're barely shuffling around this 110 area. If we don't hold above 110, we're at risk of coming back down to 108 and 104. So I'm seeing some weakness building. For ES, it's the same thing essentially. We pumped and dumped. We have 5480 as our resistance, and our main support to watch for is going to be at 5450. So I see a risk of us dipping lower. I'm seeing a weakness on ES's 4 hours, so just be careful. That's something else that's worth noting. Bitcoin's also rejecting right here. We basically have this 55,650 area as our support. If that fails us, we have this imbalance to fill down here at 55,375, followed by the 54,000 area. So I see weakness on Bitcoin. We pumped to 57,000 only to reject. So there's weakness building. The whole market is slowing down. Even if you look at NQ, this is actually kind of flat. So this is holding up a little bit better than SPY and ES. We have 18,850 as resistance. And we have 18,769 as our support. If that fails us, we're looking for a dip all the way down to 18,600. We're still flat right now, but there's a risk of downside. And then for the QQQ, we have this resistance to watch for at 458, not to mention 460, and our support to watch for is going to be at 455, not to mention this imbalance taking us down to 453. So I think there's a risk of the triple Q dipping a little bit. So please be careful, guys, especially as we have this gap down here to fill. So just be mindful of that the QQQ is kind of shuffling right now, but there is still a risk for it, especially if we end up losing our key supports. So please be very mindful of that. The QQQ and tech are actually holding up a little bit better than that of SPY, at least for now. But this could shift a little bit later on once we start to see more tech getting involved. So just be careful, guys. I'm just here to give you guys a warning about it. Be mindful of the fact that this is slowing down as a sector, and this could get dragged down as well. For Apple, we're just range bound. We did make an attempt to bounce, only to reject. So we're still stuck in this range. Looking at 219 is support, not to mention 221. And we're still stuck going back and forth and back and forth. For the IWM Russell 2000, we're losing 206. We're going to be looking at 204.5 as our support. If that fails us, we're going to be dipping down to like 202. So be careful, guys. There's a risk of downside on the IWM. We got to reclaim 206 and 208 to turn back up. Otherwise, we're at risk of downside. Coinbase is dipping. We're looking at 150 as our support zone. If that fails us, I could see this dip all the way down towards the gap fill. So I think there's more bearish potential for 148. Amazon pumped up to about 180 only to reject. We were failing to hold 180, so now we're looking at 178 as our support, the 200 EMA. If that does not hold, we're going down to 176. So be careful with Amazon. Meta was just kind of flat right now. We're stuck between 500 and 506. We're going to continue to consolidate. I want to say that Microsoft is also at risk of some downside. If 414 does not hold us, this could be tipping back down to like 412, followed by 410. So be mindful of that. And then for Google, we are flat right now, flat. But if 150 does not hold, if we don't hold above it, we will turn back down. We're barely holding 150, so we'll see how it goes. So please be very mindful of that. So as far as SPY goes, we're barely holding this 543.8 supports. And because the market is barely at support, it's kind of dragging Tesla down, but we're barely holding 222. So don't forget about the 222 area for support for Tesla, not to mention 220. Let's hope for the best. But I am seeing some weakness building. Don't forget Tesla still has this big gap down here to fill below. So if Tesla loses our key supports, especially our 50 EMA, this like 217 area, I do think there's a risk of it coming all the way down even lower. So I just want to give you guys a heads up about that. Even if we get a decent CPI, they will still use CPI as an excuse to move things like crazy. And that's why we're seeing the market kind of moving the way it is. All right. So thank you for listening. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Just heed my warnings about the markets, and we'll see how things go. I'll see you guys in a few hours for another update. Until then, have a great day and peace out.